he's over there. We were going to talk about this Maine GOP guy, but I think that we should switch topics and talk about what's happening now in the city of Washington. Ron Bonjean is with us. He's a Republican strategist. Our friend Jason Johnson from Hiram. And you're part of also Politic 365, a political blog. So, I don't know, Jason, have you caught what happened this morning? General Patraeus, he's being sort of protected. The media can't get a picture of him walking into these hearings. And Peter King, even as he came out and talked about the hearings that took place this morning, said Patraeus was a good guy, a good friend, and he admired him.
Look, I mean, I don't think anyone is saying that Patraeus is a bad person. He's just an unfaithful husband and irresponsible. I think that's the main issue here. I think we got caught up in this sort of salacious nature of all the cheating and the scandals and the beautiful women and the exotic stories. But the core issue here was just a man who was irresponsible, cheated on his wife. But we really just wanted to hear about Benghazi. So I'm not surprised that his testimony is well received and he's still well respected.
Well, Ron, are you surprised that the general testified this morning, according to Congressman Peter King, that he knew pretty much right away that the attacks in Benghazi were terrorist-related and not related to that cheesy anti-Muslim film?
Right. No, I'm not surprised that General Patraeus testified. He's well known as has been an honorable man, and so honorable, he resigned his position because he had an extramarital affair. So it was expected that he would testify. He did. And, what that's doing is it's opening up questions here. Why was there 20 intelligence reports based upon this video while General Patraeus believed that, terrorist groups were involved, and when he first heard about it, he knew that. So there's a definite disconnect there, and I think that's what these hearings are trying to do, is get to the bottom of it.
So, Jason, UN Ambassador Susan Rice, she's taken a lot of heat for this because she went on national television and all the Sunday talk shows, and she told the nation that these attacks in Benghazi were likely caused by this anti-Muslim film.
Right.
She was given talking points. We don't know by whom. I mean, where did those talking points come from if the CIA director knew almost immediately that the attacks in Benghazi were terrorist-related?
Look, this is obviously an instance where the left hand and the right hand and the foot and the knee don't really know who's connecting to where. And, it's amazing that I don't know why Eric Cantor didn't sort of push some of these issues further. The Republicans tried to push it further. This is clearly an example of the White House not communicating perfectly. But as we saw from Barack Obama's press conference earlier this week, he's going to defend Susan Rice. Susan Rice is clearly somebody he wants to protect, clearly somebody he wants to push forward. And so no matter what kind of inconsistencies there are in her story or the White House story or the CIA, Barack Obama is still pushing her for the position. So this story is not going to end anytime soon.
Okay, and by the position you mean Secretary of State. So, Ron, let me ask you this. If these hearings, and there'll be 3 of them, determine that Susan Rice was given these talking points by a credible source, and the White House didn't edit them in any way, and she's exonerated from all blame, will Republicans be amenable to her maybe being the Secretary of State?
Well, that's going to be up to Senate Republicans. And right now, as it currently stands, I doubt that she would end up getting confirmed. You have Senators McCain and Senators Graham who are very concerned about the comments that she made. And I think we need to get answers before before we move forward. Susan Rice was, you look at the context. We were in a presidential election, and Susan Rice was using talking points altered potentially by the White House that took the words, that took the terrorist group attacks out of those talking points, meaning that there could have been a cover-up, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it. If she took out if she took out that phrase, that would be a huge problem for her confirmation.
So, Jason, what do you think it's like to be Susan Rice these days?
I think it's very difficult. Look, I mean, Barack Obama has not always had an easy time pushing his nominees through, but, I mean, think about it. Not only is she in the middle of this Benghazi scandal, where people are going to be questioning whether she was honest, whether she was being sort of a shill for the White House, but you're following Hillary Clinton, who's been one of the most popular and well-respected secretaries of state that we've had in the last 20 years. So I think Susan Rice is in a very difficult position. I'm pretty sure John Kerry is thinking this is my chance to grab the job. So I think it's going to be a rough couple of days for her, and we really may not know the answer until sometime later on in December.
We'll see. Ron Bonjean, Jason Johnson, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course, we're following that breaking news.